In today's video, we'll be looking at how to solve quadratic equations the fastest way. Before we start, this is how quadratic equation usually occurs: ax squared plus bs plus c is equal to 0. And in this case, a is not equal to 0. In this case, a is not equal to 0. That means the a that is attached to s squared is not equal to 0. As we progress, you understand what it means. So in quadratic equation, the solution is to find the value of x that makes this equation true. That means the value of x, whereby if you use x to substitute everything at the left-hand side, it will be equals to 0. Find the value of that x that makes the equation true. And then there are different methods that can be used to solve quadratic equation. And one of them is factorization method. We have another one called quadratic formula, and we have the third method called completing the square. But we are going to use the fastest method in this particular video, and that is factorization. Factorization is almost the fastest method that you can use to solve quadratic equation. So let's proceed to solve one or two examples. So you have a quadratic equation like this: x squared plus 5x plus c is equal to 0. So to solve this quadratic equation, all you are just meant to do is to look for two numbers, whereby when you multiply them, it will give you 6, and when you add those two numbers, it will give you 5. So quadratic equation makes you to think very fast. So what are those numbers? Whereby when you multiply them, it gives you 6, but when you add them, they give you 5. That number is 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 gives you 6, and 2 plus 3 gives you 5. So after you have gotten your factors, all you just have to do is to attach each of these factors to x, because we have x squared. So you are going to have x plus 2, then under bracket x plus 3, which is equals to 0. Now, if x plus 2 times x plus 3 is equals to 0, it simply means either x plus 2 is equals to 0 or x plus 3 is equals to 0, because anything you multiply by 0 is equals to 0. And if x plus 2 is equals to 0, to get the value of x, you take the 2 across the equal sign, and that x will give you minus 2, or to get the value of x for x plus 3 is equals to 0, when you take the 3 across the equal sign, it gives you minus 3, so it will be s minus 3. So this is the answer to this quadratic equation. X is equals to minus 2 or minus 3. So if you want to prove whether your answer is correct or not, if you substitute either minus 2 or minus 3 in the quadratic equation above to replace the value of x, and you solve it, it will give you 0 as the final answer. So this is how to solve quadratic equation the fastest way using factorization method. Let's look at another example. We have a quadratic equation like this: 2x squared minus 4x minus c is equals to 0. What is the difference between this very example and the example we solved earlier? The difference is the value of a in this equation is not 1, rather it is 2. Because I told you earlier, when we were looking at the general format of a quadratic equation, that ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0, and in this case, a is not equal to 0. So when you don't see any number attached to x squared, it simply means the value of a in that equation is 1. But if it's more than 1, or a negative number, you will see the number attached to it. So in this case, the value of a is 2. So we cannot simply go ahead and factorize and find two numbers, whereby if you multiply, it gives you 6, and when you add, it gives you minus 4. If you do like that, you will not get the right answer. So one of the fastest ways to solve this is to simplify this equation by dividing everything by a common factor. And the common factor in this equation is 2, because you can divide 2x squared over 2, you can divide 4x by 2, you can divide minus 6 by 2, and you can divide 0 by 2. When you divide 2x squared by 2, it will give you x squared, then minus. When you divide 4x by 2, it will give you minus 2. And when you divide minus c divided by 2, it will give you minus 3, and then which is equal to 0. Because when you say 0 divided by 2, it still gives you 0. So at this point now, you can factorize. You can look for two numbers whereby when you multiply, it gives you minus 3, and when you add, it gives you minus 2. So what are those two numbers? Now, when you are solving quadratic equation, one thing you must take note of is the sign, whether it is a positive or negative sign attached to the numbers, because those signs, they are very important. So what are the two numbers when you multiply? It gives you minus 3, or when you add, it gives you minus 2. Those two numbers are minus 3 and plus 1. Because when you say minus 3 plus 1, it will give you minus 2. When you say minus 3 times plus 1, it will give you minus 3. So the two factors you have here is minus 3 and plus 1. So as you have gotten your factors now, all you just have to do is to pair each of these factors with x that is in s squared. So you have s minus 3, one bracket, and then s plus 1 in another bracket equals to 0. So if s minus 3 times s plus 1 is equals to 0, it means either s minus 3 is equals to 0 or s plus 1 is equals to 0. So to get the values of x, when you take 3 across the equal sign, s will be equals to 3, or when you take plus 1 across the equal sign, it will give you minus 1, or x is equals to minus 1. So your answer is x is equals to 3 or minus 1. So this is how to easily solve quadratic equation the fastest way, and this is using factorization method. I hope you understood it. Before we go, let me give you an assignment. Solve this quadratic equation. X squared plus 9x plus 20 is equals to 0. Solve it and drop the answer in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please ensure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more powerful math videos like this. See you in our other videos.